All right, hello everyone, and peace of the Lord to all of you. Please invite your friends, and let us have some good time. I mentioned in the chat that we have a few number today, and I understand. Maybe people don't have enough time to watch previous video, or maybe people getting bored. However, for me, I do my duty, and I'm not complaining, but I don't like to waste my time. For me, what I do here, I'm the last one need to talk about Islam or to listen to what Islam is about. So people need me, I do not need them, not in this case. So when I say invite your friends, it's just to help more people, not the opposite. You don't help me, and I do not need your help. And you know that, right? As you know, I am a one-man army. I have no assistants. I have no secretaries. Even the admins, I do not need them. So I come here to help people, not the opposite. And if I notice that people don't care, well, I will care. I did my duty. I mean, isn't it enough? Almost 20 years going online almost every day. Isn't it? Do I feel guilty not to go more? People don't appreciate, and this is actually our topic today. Our topic today is about depression. I fight. All what I do is I fight. People, they threaten me. People want to kill me. People want to find me. And I never go through depression, not even for a second. But there is a reason for that. I mean, if you are me, for 5 minutes, you will feel a lot of stress. With the huge amount of people want to kill you, literally, not just kill you by like we don't like you, And we are talking about literally. And I laugh, I enjoy my time, I enjoy my day, and I care less for all this their threat. But there is a reason for that. And today we are going to help people to understand why and how you can fight your stress. But before we go that, talk about how to fight stress, we are going to expose some of the lies of the Muhammadan about Islam is the best to fight stress. And actually, this is why today I decided to speak about this topic when, I don't prepare for a topic, actually. I open my YouTube to see what is going on, and YouTube suggests to me, So YouTube suggests to me a video about stress. Okay, depression, sorry. So I said, okay, that's a good thing. Let us talk about it then. And then I searched the topic and I found this. 5 verses about depression in the Quran. And this guy, supposedly him and his wife, she is a doctor. And as you see, the wife, she's smiling. So obviously she is not depressed. Right? She is not depressed for sure. I mean, look at it. She must be very happy. And she have makeup, and which is not allowed in Islam, by the way. But anyway, according to Islam, according to them, Islam will make you happy. I don't know how this woman, she will be happy when the husband next to her tell her tomorrow or today or afternoon that he will have a second wife. For sure, she will not suffer from depression. But we will go with their, a propaganda machine. This is the website, and they have the article. Verse number 1, the Quranic verses, which is going to help you. Chapter 2, verse number 1. Faith and preference. Chapter 2, verse number 2. Solace in God's presence. Verse number 3. Optimistic outcome. Verse number 4. Relying on God support. Verse number 5. Glad tiding. Okay. So that's it. Quran solves your problem. Now you have no stress. And then we need to ask ourselves, so why the Muslim commit suicide and join ISIS? Is that this is because of a stress, or this is for a pleasure? Because remember, depression can lead to such a thing, can lead to the suicide act, which is a very bad thing to do. And you know, they start saying, defining depression. And for sure, the best ones to give you definition for depression is the Muslims. You know, I will give you example of depression. Muslims, they recite the Quran too much. What happened to you when you recite the Quran too much? What exactly, how you feel? This is what happened when you recite the Quran too much.
The authentic hadith, speaking to Sahaba, speaking to the greatest ummah that ever walked the earth, speaking to your fathers, speaking to a ummah that happily gave their lives for the pleasure of Allah. People who did the utmost, the biggest sacrifices, and they deemed themselves as the most insignificant people. Today you do nothing and you think you're up there. They did everything and they...
Guys, do you hear me or not? Am I heard? Am I heard? Why people are saying start? So what we are doing for the last 10 minutes? Why people are saying start? So listen, the second you are became a religious Muslim, you are a very happy person. This is what's supposed, if we read, is going to make us get rid of our stress.
I thought that they were down there. The Prophet of Allah speaking to them. He says, none of you, who's he speaking to? He says, none of you will enter Jannah through your actions. None. People walking around like he's already from the people of Jannah, mashallah. People now, they worship their mashayikh. 100%, brother. These guys from Firdaus al-A'la. The Prophet of Allah saying to Sahaba, none of you will enter Jannah through your actions. None.
Okay, I will stop here. I will go back to the website. The website speak about reading the Quran and the verses which will take you out of depression. And verse number 5 is the glad tiding. What the glad tiding? You will go to heaven. This is the glad tiding. But this guy, he just told you, in Islam, none of you can go to heaven through his action. So what? How we can go to heaven, you know, in Islam? So the Muslims, they are the most confused, dummy, religious people in the world. And I don't blame them, by the way. I blame them only for one thing, following a donkey. His name is Muhammad. So Muhammad, in one hand, he said to them, if you do jihad, you go to heaven. If you F your wife non-stop, you go to heaven. If you make more babies, you go to heaven. If your children die because of diarrhea, you go to heaven. If you die because of diarrhea, you go to heaven. If you kill a Christian and he kills you in his way, and you go to heaven. If you shout for the sake of Allah, Allahu Akbar, you go to heaven. If you say the name of Allah 100 times, you go to heaven. And the list goes on. And then all of this drama turned to be not true. None of your action will take you to heaven. None. And this person, he is the same person who make videos saying to them, you have to do good deed. You have to do jihad so you can go to heaven. In this video, he is saying all your action is useless. None of you will go to heaven because of his action.
People now, they worship their mashayikh. 100%, brother. These guys from Firdaus al-A'la. The Prophet of Allah saying to Sahaba, none of you will enter Jannah through your actions. None. So they asked the Prophet of Allah, even you?
Even you?
He says, yeah, even me.
And here the depression will start. Obviously, Muhammad, he was in a state of depression when he said that. His mental capability is collapsing, if you have any. So it turned to be all the promises Muhammad, he said, is false. And now after you heard this, that means every single verse in the Quran about going to heaven if you have good deed is a false. Because none of you, because of his deed, you will go to heaven. Did you hear him screaming? Did you hear him saying, they said to Muhammad, even you prophet? He said, even I. Even I. And now, The Muhammadan, they have tons of videos in YouTube about depression. Look, all those videos, they can fight depression. All of those, look how many. Quran and depression, Quran. But all of us, we know that the Muslims are the most unhappy people in the world. If you don't believe me, go to Muslim countries and see. All those videos speaking about how Islam can help you for depression. Look at this woman. She will teach you how she can fight depression. Let us prove them and get them busted. Because if the Quran could not help your prophet, Quran could not help you. This is your stupid book. Your prophet, he's suffering from a very bad depression to the point he start dreaming that Allah is going to fix him. And he have an illuminated dream, which is, he claim it is real, not dream, that two angels, they came and they opened his chest and they installed a dish of faith and dish of wisdom. But why the angels are doing that? And how depression can be fought by installing dish of faith and dish of wisdom? That need extra study. If we go here, we will find that there is tons of stories about Muhammad. He himself was trying many times to commit suicide. And this is al-Bukhari, so the Muhammadan cannot say this is a weak story and rejected and not accepted, etc. Here you will see Muhammad, not only he tried once or two or three, many times. Muhammad, he goes almost every day to the top of the mountain, which is next to his town, and he go up to the mountain in order to kill himself. And the hadith says clearly that this is all happening because he is so sad. Why he is so sad? According to the story, Allah stopped sending him revelation. Allah stopped sending him revelation. Waraq ibn Nawfal, he died, and I believe strongly that Waraq ibn Nawfal is the real father of Muhammad. He died. And the divine inspiration was also paused. And here you need to ask yourself, why Quran stopped coming by a death of a man? He is not even a Muslim. Simply, he is the one who was making Quran for him. For a while, and the Prophet becomes so sad. So the word here, so sad, is what? How sad? We will find out. As we have heard, he intended several times to throw himself from the tops of the high mountains. Here you will notice with me that Muhammad, he tried to do that several times. Several times. I will open my Skype and I want to see all the Abdul who don't like what I say. If any of them dare to call me and tell me why Muhammad, if his religion and his Quran can help against depression, why Muhammad want to kill himself and why he is so depressed? Remember, according to the Muhammadan, the Quran can help you to fight depression. Actually, the Quran is a cure for depression according to them. So why Muhammad himself trying to kill himself many times? You see, to kill yourself is a person who like went to a point of no hope. Another way, you lose your mind. That's it. You can't take it no more. So you decide to get rid of your life. According to Muhammad himself, The one who commits suicide, he will go to hell. Unless he is committing suicide to kill the Christians and the Jews, that's a different story. But if you kill yourself without killing some Christians and Jews, that is a big sin in Islam. So why Muhammad trying to kill himself? If you are a Muslim, you like to join us, feel free. So here you find in 2 seconds, we find that the most happy person in the world, Muhammad, is an unhappy person. And all the image they provide to us is a big fat lie. In the Middle East is the land of misery, even for the rich ones. Go to the most rich country for Muslims. They are so depressed, and there is tons of reasons. Because Islam is a religion of depression. You see, depression is the same as dust. The dust, you know, like I have my table here in front of me. If I don't clean it for a week, I will see dust, you know, and the dust will get thicker if it's 2 weeks, if it's 3 weeks, 4 weeks. The more nobody attend to clean, the more the dust will grow. Human being, he have dust in his life. And if he is unable to clean his dust, the dust will grow. And the dust will become sand. And the sand will become a mountain. And then the mountain will crush you. And Islam caused all of that. And now we will go and differentiate between 2 kinds of stress or depression. Depression for women and depression for men. Those Muhammadan, when they speak about how the Quran can help you, like this guy and his wife, if you search and check and see how women they react when they hear that their husband, he had a second wife. To make it simple, imagine your husband is cheating on you, how happy you will be, and what you will do next. The Muslims, not only they can have 4 wives, they can lie about it. And that make the women, when she marry a Muslim man, suffer from stress before even getting married. Why? Because she knew that the husband, he can lie, and he can have second, third wife as he wish. And he do not need to tell that he have any other wife. And that will bring a lot of stress in her marriage, if we can call it a marriage, because I believe strongly Islamic marriage is nothing but a sexual contract. It's a prostitution. All of us, we heard not long time ago, a YouTuber, a Muslim YouTuber, him and his, he brought some Muslim girlfriends, who they are maybe a possible future secret wives, and he put them in the display, and they made a video about it is the right for a Muslim man to have a secret wife.
Put me, hijab, brother Sirtaj, Dawood on lie detector test. And they said the following questions. Do you love your wife? Yes. Pass. Would you die for her? Yes. Pass. If your wife was okay, would you get a second wife? Yes. Pass. There is not a conflict between a man
There's no conflict between what? A man, yeah?
loving his wife
Loving his wife and
a man wanting to be polygamous.
there's no conflict. There's no conflict. But if a man here love his wife, why he want to love the second wife? Can you love really 4, 5, 6? You know, sound like this is exactly Android tits. This is why the trash of the world, they convert to Islam. The trash of the world, the pervert, Let us make it simple. The pervert. There's no contradiction. There's no problem between you like to have more than one woman in your house. And if you ask yourself, what is the purpose exactly of having more than one woman? It's just nothing but being pervert. Owning more women. This is a form of slavery. So the woman, she enter inside the Muslim house, and now she don't know for how long she will sleep there and how long she will be number one. Because as soon he got a new wife, she is younger, more pretty, she will be the second wife. And this is what Muhammad he did. Muhammad he prefer Aisha more than all his wives. In fact, Muhammad he consider Aisha is his best dish. This is how much Muhammad he respect women. He said that Aisha is the same as a tharid. It's like, you know, when you eat rice, you know. So Muhammad he see Aisha as a dish of food. Do you see it? The Prophet said the superiority of Aisha to other ladies, he's talking about his wives, is like the superiority of the thread or tharid over to other kind of food. Do you see it? Muslims, they lie and they say the Quran says that you have to treat them equally. This we hear them always saying that. They say the Quran saying that. That's a lie. The Quran did not say treat them equally by love. No, no, no. Like you feed them the same. You know, like you cook the same dish, feed them the same. Not one eat baklava and the one eat pupu, you know. That's it. The Quran in the same chapter says, and nobody can be fair with, you know, just with his wife. Nobody. Muhammad here, he is speaking about how he see his favorite wife. She is nothing but a dish to fill up his stomach. Food is one of joys we have in life. You know, it's give us energy, maintain our health, especially if we eat healthy, and you know, nutrition to stay alive. And there's a joy when you taste it. For sure, Aisha is not a nutrition to Muhammad. She is just a sexual joy. And he see her as a dish. And he see all the other wives are dishes too. But she is the favorite dish. Now imagine yourself, you are married to a Muslim man, or you are a Muslim woman if you are listening, and now your husband, he just see nothing on you except a dish. Today he's eating you, tomorrow he is eating someone else. If you say I'm lying, I'm showing you the hadith, it's in front of you, and this is Al-Bukhari. This is Al-Bukhari. This is not me. And here we will notice that the source of stress in Islam is beyond imagination, especially for women. Later we will go to stress for men, not only women. And we will go to Muslim men, because Muslim men, they suffer from a lot of stress. In fact, having many wives is a big stress. And we will show you that from the life of Muhammad himself. But before we go that, Muslim men, when they become a true believers, not somebody like born as a Muslim, his name is Muhammad, but the majority, they like to take advantage of women. So they believe that a woman, she is nothing but a goat. And women, as a goat, she should be treated like one.
On with arguments, I'll just respond to this wife beating. You know, simple question, Haris. Do you believe women should be subject to laws? If you do believe that women should be subject to laws, then that means you believe women should be subject to all kinds of violence, including being beaten, jailed, even executed. That's what it means to be subject to the law. So there really is no difference between.
So guys, it's very simple. The Islamic law says beat women, be violent with them. The question now is not about how the woman, if she is a human being or not. She is just subjected to law. And the law says beat them. Do violence for them. So now he is explaining that in order to have a real marriage as a Muslim and a real family, you need to beat the hell of every member of your family, especially the female one. Why? Because we have a law subjugating females to beating. Very simple. How in the world that will not help the women to be more happy in her life? See the liars, they say to you that Islam make you stressful. Obviously, it's not true. Islam will make you very out of stress. Few verses from the Quran, like chapter 4, verse 34, it says beat them, jail them, stop having sex with them. All those three things will lead into stress. Imagine you have a spouse, and maybe a few are suffering from that already, don't want to sleep with you, don't want to talk to you, and not only that, they lock the room on you. This is what the Quran is saying in chapter 4, verse 34. And I find it very disgusting and very silly from the Muhammadan when they say that Islam fight oppression. That is the oppression itself. So now the woman, obviously she have a problem with her husband. Instead, if we try to fix it, what we do, we make it worse. We lock the door on the women. We treat her, even dogs, they are treated better than Muslim women in Islam. We stop having any relationship with them, including sex, as a penalty. And simply, you throw her in a corner of a room, you tie her up, and you close the door, and you give her a dish of food like a dog once a day, until she become obedience. And if this all did not work, they say to you, beat them. In fact, the Quran never say which one comes first. It's up to you. If you decide to beat first and jail second, or you decide to jail first and beat second. And this is come back, and I find, by the way, the most ugly, disgusting followers of Islam is those who convert to Islam. And the reason you find them more disgusting because they are more truthful, usually, especially if he studied Islam very well. This guy, he studied Islam very well. And by the way, you will notice this guy, he is willing to debate somebody, not me, anyone. I offer him many times this potato. If he dare to speak to me for 10 minutes, he will never dare. Never. But now he is saying, well, it's very simple. Everybody have to be subject to law. And the law of Islam saying, beat them, rape them, kill them, destroy them, spit on them. And the Muslim, they say to you, we beat our wives lightly, which is very false. I will show you the reference where even Muslim in the time of Muhammad, they beat the wife until they made her skin greener than her clothing. This is the story of Aisha and a woman. She came to her and she complained that her husband, he did beat her until he made her skin greener than her clothing. Muhammad, he took the side with the man against the women. And obviously, if you are a woman and you are married to a Muslim man and he did beat you and he made your skin greener than your clothing, obviously you are a happy lady and you are a queen at the house. In fact, the Muslim man, he have 4 queens. He can replace them every election. And he can make you feel like a queen by beating you and make your skin greener than your clothing. And if you read the whole story, you will see Muhammad taking the side of the man who he did beat the wife against the women. And not only that, he encouraged him to rape her, because the whole beating is about what? She don't want to have sex with him. And here that will take us to other stress reason and depression reason. This poor woman, she was married to a guy, his name is Rifa. Rifa divorced her for the 3rd time. Now Rif'a, she cannot go back to her previous husband until a new man F her, literally. I'm not speaking dirty, I'm saying what the word is. So now she married this man who is very old, and she was hoping he will not sleep with her. And she will make any excuse to make him divorce her, so she can go back to the previous husband, Rafa. But the guy, he's still functioning. He want to have sex. She refused. He start beating her. She refused. He beat her harder. She refused. She ran to the house of Muhammad, and Muhammad, he said to her, listen, your husband, as you see, he told me, you want to go back to your previous husband. You should know, read carefully. Allah Messenger said to her, if that is your intention, that you know that it's unlawful for you to remarry Rifa unless Abdul Rahman taste your orgasm and you taste his orgasm. That is another additional form of stress. Right? Imagine now you are a woman, you have a children, your stupid husband divorced you 3 times, because in the Quran it says if a man divorces his wife 3 times, she cannot go back to her previous husband until she F a new husband. And here you ask yourself, is Muhammad really a person who is suffering from mental illness or not? Obviously he is, because as you see, this did not fix the problem. This is make more problems. So now Muslim women who get divorced from previous husband, they go and find a new husband to F them for 1 night. And then second night they ask him, divorce us, man, I did not marry you because I like you. I want to go back to my previous husband. And Muhammad now, he knew her intention, that she don't want you to marry this man. He is saying to her, okay, no problem. You don't like to marry him, but now you are married to him, you have to F him. You F him, you can go back to previous husband. This is what it says in front of you. Which means you can cheat. Because the Muslim, they say to you, well, this is what not Islam intended to do. Islam intended to teach the man not to use divorce as a toy. But as you see, Islam make it so easy, so it became a toy. Because why Muhammad make it so easy, divorcing your wife by 1 message or 1 word, even by text message, you can divorce your wife. It's so easy. You throw her out of the house. Now, for sure, if you live in the West, good luck with that. She will screw you, all right? So Muslim women in the West, and this I want to mention this, Muslim women in the West, they have way less stress than Muslim women in the Middle East. Why? Because Muslim men in the West, they don't enjoy the privilege of beating and 4 wives and jail them in the room and spank them and treat them like dogs. You know, the privilege is gone. 1 phone call to the police, you are going to have a lot of fun. So if a Muslim woman, she live in the West and her husband did not marry the second wife yet, that because he live in the West and he will go to jail if he do so. Not because he's nice. And if he did not beat her yet, not because he's nice, but because he's afraid 1 call, she will bring the police for him. But if she live in the Middle East and the woman, she called the police, the police will say to her, why you are calling? Oh, the husband is beating me, you know. They will say to her, the Prophet said, no man should be asked why he did beat his wife. Nobody even had the right to ask you. So put all those things together. Your marriage is not marriage, it's a sex contract. You can be fired anytime. A new woman can be hired anytime, in your present. The husband, he will bring more babies beside your babies. The house will be full of babies and more women. The husband will have 4 mother-in-law. And 4 mother-in-law for the women he have right now, and 4 mother-in-law for the previous 4 women he had before, and 4 mother-in-law for the previous marriage before. Imagine how life would be so stressful. Now let us go and give you a great example that Muhammad himself, his life was a misery. We showed you that Muhammad tried to commit suicide. And the reason there was because Allah had not given him Quran. But I find that is a very sad reason. There's way more reasons for Muhammad to die or to commit suicide. If you go in the funny yellow pages of Muhammad, you will find that the wives of Muhammad, they cause Muhammad a lot of problems. And I'm not saying they are the problem. He is obviously the problem. But Islam is the biggest problem. Having 13 wives is not a life. So you will find in the Quran that the wives of Muhammad, they've been threatened by Allah that Allah is going to wage war on them and he will protect Muhammad. And this will expose all the lies about Muhammad being a happy husband. And the verse before it, by the way, you will see that the one who wrote the Quran obviously is a person with low IQ. And obviously it is Muhammad. Chapter 66, verse number 3 says, "And when the Prophet disclosed matter in confidence to one of his wives, so when she told it to the other wife, Allah made it known to him. And Allah, he informed him of port, and he left the port." Look at the mystery. Suspense. "Then he told her thereof, she said." Who told you this? I mean, do you see how strong the Quran, the language, the story, the author, it's God. This is from God. So remember when Mumu said to one of his fufu, a confidence matter. And then she told it to the other women. And then the other women, she told her to the other one. And then Allah is all-knowing, he informed him some of it, not all of it. Part, only part. And he left the other part. True story. I mean, I see the stress is building now. And then he told her, like, what the heck? And then, and this God is talking, remember, this is not the BBC. And then he told her thereof, she said. Who told you this? And then he said, the all-knower, Allah, he told me. What a story. I mean, you have to be a genius to write this. I don't know how many hours took Allah to write it, but it's complicated. I'm getting dizzy already. Let me drink some water. I'm sweating. That's a lot of knowledge here. A lot of, like how many characters in this movie, like who is the first one? And then the Muslim, to fix the stupid story, because you get dizzy, they added a bracket to tell you what's going on. So in the first bracket, remember, why? Because it doesn't make sense. And when the Prophet, when the Prophet, what? Suddenly, and when the Prophet, okay. So we have to add, remember. And then the Prophet SAW, because you have to praise Muhammad, come on. And then you have to say Hafsa, because we don't know which wife. So we have to tell them Hafsa. Allah, he forgot to tell us. It's confusing. And then Hafsa, she told the other wife, which one? Aisha. So the whole story is Muhammad was busted in his house having sex with one of his servants. He told his wife Hafsa to go to visit her father. She went to visit her father. Her father told her, why you are here? She felt something suspicious. She thought he is the one who asked her to come. This is what she understood from Muhammad. So she went back home right away. And when she went back home, she found 2 legs around the neck of Muhammad in her bed, and he was effing literally his servant slave who he received as a gift from Amazon, which is from Egypt at that time. And remember, Muhammad is against slavery. He just effed them, and he received them, and he owned them. But he is against slavery. So now Muhammad, he promised one of the wives, I will make your father the caliphate. And then he promised the other wife, no, I will make your father the caliphate. So now the wife starts, no, my father will be the caliphate. No, your father will not be the caliphate. And now they start putting the hair of each other. And now Muhammad, he is out of control and he do not know what to say. So he now threatened them that Allah told me this. Allah said to the two wives, if you two don't turn to repentance to Allah, you better turn and repent. Actually, the sentence doesn't make any sense. I mean, even in English. So you better like repent to Allah. If you don't do that, you know what? Your heart is really indeed inclined. You became kuffar. But if you help each other against him, against who? Muhammad, then Allah is his protector, and Jibreel, and every righteous among the believers, and furthermore all the angels, which means nobody left in the heaven and the earth, except, as an exception, he is not involved in this fight with those two women. So now imagine how much stress Muhammad he have, and how much stupid he is. He tried to cover his faith by false promises, and then his false promises come back to him because those wives, they told each other. This is why it says here in confidence, he told, don't tell the others, okay? Don't tell them I will make your father the caliphate after me. And he told the other wife the same, I will make your father the caliphate after I die. So now this was a matter of confidence, but those women, they start talking, and that ignite the problem. And then you will see that Allah is threatening the wives of Muhammad to be exchanged, divorced, and or exchanged. Do you see it? And this is the scenario for every Muslim woman. If she wanna have any argue with the husband, in 2 seconds she will fear that he is going to exchange her tomorrow. In fact, Muslims, they used to practice something, they cannot afford it no more to do it. It's called isti'aratul furuj, which means borrowing a vagina. So if you have a woman and you are bored of her, you take her, you exchange her with other vagina. So your neighbor, he's a Muslim, Abdul. Ahmad, he said to Muhammad, hey Ahmad, can I take your wife? You give me your wife? The Muslim, they say this is not about wife, this is about slaves. Supposedly now they're fixing it. So you F his slave and he F your slave. This is what they say. So all the religion of Islam is not only messed up, is not only zero ethic, it's a collection of stress. So the woman, she have no security, she have no settlement, she's nobody, she can be beaten, she can be spat off, she can be like she face humility every day, she is not respected at all. The husband, he can bring another wife anytime he want in front of her eyes, and he can F her, and she is watching. And she is what? She is watching.
I agree. Look, I get the polygamous part. I get the whole wanting to have more intimacy with more than one woman. Yeah,
so this Muslim woman, she understands that Muslim men, they want to have intimacy with more than one woman. So what the purpose of this? Intimacy. And intimacy is a nice word, you know. It is effing. This is the origin of effing. I mean, you see, when the Muslim says that this guy, even in the video, he says every man is born polygamist. But isn't it their stupid God? He stole a story from the Bible saying that Adam, he have one Eve, and Eve, she have one Adam. So if everyone is born polygamist, why God, he created to Adam one woman, and she was fine with him, and he was fine with her? And now this Muhammadan women, look at their faces. I mean, and look, I mean, what kind even of discussion? This is the public one. So what is about the one behind doors? This is the public one. The one behind door is way more disgusting. Even Muslim men, they bring their wives and they start watching porn together. 2, 3, 4 wives. And not only that, he try his best to make the other women compete with the first women in sex. Like she danced for me, you don't dance for me. She stripped for me, you don't strip. She have a better move, you don't have good moves. This is Islam. And all of this is nothing but stress and depression. And this is why even Aisha, she said, and this is very important to remember, Aisha, she said that I never saw a woman is depressed and unhappy as much as a Muslim woman. Who said that? Aisha. And that will silence every single liar who says this is not true. Because who dare to say Aisha is a liar? Any Muslim dare to say so? Read carefully what Aisha, she said. Aisha, she said, I have not seen any women suffering as much as I believe in women. Look, her skin is greener than her clothing. Who said that? The wife of the first terrorist in the world, Muhammad. Do you see it? Is that a Christian prince saying that Muslim women are the most suffering? No. This is Aisha. And this is the reference. And this is the hadith number. So now it's confirmed by Aisha herself. She is witnessing, and Muhammad, he could not say no, that the most suffering women, you see, at that time there's a lot of women who they are not Muslims. But the most suffering women, Islam did not make women enjoy their life. Islam obviously made women life horrible. And the proof in front of you. From their mouth, not from ours. Which means those who they are worshipping idols, their women are happy. Those who they are worshipping the vagina, and the Muslim now they worship the vagina, the black stone still, their life is better than the Muslims. Who witnessed for that? Muhammad's wife. All of this is nothing but endless number of stress. Now, not only this, there's more stress. A woman, she cannot be witness in the court. A woman, she is not equal in inheritance. A woman, she cannot even be witness for a crime. Muslim women, they can be witness only in the case of borrowing money. Not only that, there's conditions. And the condition is 2 women and 1 man. If there's no man, even if there are billion Muslim women, they cannot be witness for any case of borrowing money. In the case of murder, women are not approved to be a witness at all. Any capital punishment. Muslim women, she cannot, even if she saw her husband being killed by somebody, she is not approved witness in the court. For she is not equal to the man. She is half a brain. And the Quran actually mentions something very funny, showing you that Muhammad is mentally ill and stupid again. Muhammad, he claimed that Muslim women, or women in general, they have lack of intellect and intelligence. Therefore, we cannot have 1 woman to be a witness. And not only that, even if there's 2 women, we have to have at least 1 man. And not only that, even those 2 women have to be a woman who we can agree to trust. In the case of man, no, just enough to be a man. And Muhammad, he made an excuse, which is showing you that Muhammad is stupid. He said, so if one of them she err, the other one will remind her. So Muhammad, he assumed that 1 woman is stupid. 2 women are smarter than 1 woman. And 1 man is enough because he is stupid. But look how stupid Muhammad is. Because if one woman is stupid, having two women will not make too smart, will make too stupid. Are you with me? This is how stupid Muhammad is. So if we agree, and for sure I don't, that women are stupid, then it doesn't matter how many we increase the number, well, they are still stupid. So having first one, second one, third one as witnesses did not change anything. If the first one will err, the second one will err, because the second woman second one is a woman too, and the third one will err, and the fourth one will err, and the fifth one will err, because all of them are women. Because what the problem? They are women. So Muhammad, because he's an idiot, he considered the subject is the gender, and the gender connected with the brain. But if you ask yourself, and you have little honesty, you know that maybe you will not remember what you ate today at lunch if you are a man, but your wife, she remember. If you take her to a party, a wedding party, your wife, she will tell you what they were wearing, what is the earring, what is the nails and their nail color, what is the shoes color, what the bracelet, what the food, what she said, what he said, who entered first, who entered. The man remember nothing. Remember, come back from the party, the man asked him what you saw. I say, I saw the broom, the wedding. Yeah, I was there. Yeah. He don't remember nothing. He don't remember which suit he was wearing. The women, she would describe for you everyone what they were wearing. So if it's about memory and remembering things, women, they can remember way better. Again, Muhammad proven to be idiot, stupid. Not only they can tell you what they did, they can tell you what they are wearing. They can tell you what kind of perfume they have. Women are too much into details, especially for appearance or event, witness, something happened, like, around them. But all of this is nothing but a form of stress. Now we go to the stress of the man. Or we shall continue with the women's stress, because there's endless. In fact, I'm going to use a hadith and that will show us the stress of both sides. But here you will see Muhammad is relaxing, enjoying women fight. Muhammad, because he is an idiot liar. Remember, the Muslim, they say to you in their speeches, a man, he married 2 women, 3 women, 4 women, he have to treat them equally. This is Muhammad himself, he never treated them equally. And let me pause the hadith for you, so you don't say to me where I can find that. And by the way, for those who do not know how to find things, many of you keep saying to me, where are those links, where you get, why you care for the link? You can find those links so easy. Search Sahih al-Bukhari. There's a million link. Is it important which link? And we post them in the chat. Still they ask me, where are they? If you are watching the video and the video is still in my channel, that means the chat is active. And when I am talking, I post links, and the admins post links too. Click on them, save the reference. Here Muhammad, wives, asking Muhammad to be fair between the wives. The fake daughter of Muhammad, remember, Muhammad has no daughters. Muhammad has 0 daughters. Muhammad cannot have kids. The Muslim, they say, well, at least Fatima is his daughter. That's a lie. Muhammad have none. Muhammad is an impotent man. He cannot have babies. The Quran says, mention your daughters, but those are his stepdaughters. Never Muhammad have daughters. However, Muhammad here, he have a daughter, her name is Fatima. And Fatima considered as a daughter from Muhammad because she was the youngest from the daughters of Khadija. Khadija, she have a previous husbands before Muhammad. 2 men, she took their money, and then Muhammad, he took her money. So they came to him asking for justice. And they keep sending his daughter to him, saying to him, can you please treat us equitable with regard of the matter of the daughter of Abu Quhafa? Abu Quhafa is Abu Bakr, the father of Aisha. The Prophet said to her, do you love me? She said yes. He said, then love her. He ignored. See, they are asking him to be nice, to be justice. What's happening here, all the bribes come to Muhammad, go to the house of Aisha. Muhammad receive bribes. Anyone want to do anything, he have to pay Muhammad. You give him a gift in the house of Aisha, your problem is solved. If you send it to the house of other wife, Aisha, she will make Muhammad reject your request. So look what happened now. Everyone who want to bribe Muhammad, he will wait until Muhammad he go to the house of Aisha, and then he will send his gifts to the house of Aisha. And Aisha, she is a very young girl, she sit in the lap of Muhammad, and Muhammad he melt anything she want. So the wives are asking, can you please be fair? All what they are asking is just be fair. Whenever you are, people give you bribe, let the bribe come to our house. The same it come. Now all the bribes go to the house of Aisha. And then Muhammad he ignored the request. And then they said to him, they said to her, please go back. They keep asking her to go back, and then she says, by Allah, I will never go back. He don't want to treat them equally. And then finally they send Zainab into Jahsh, which Muhammad he like her very much too. She have a big butt. Aisha, she said, she was somewhat my equal among the wives. Like you see, she is so, she is good in bed. The Prophet, this is the wife, this is the woman who Muhammad took her from his son Zayd. You remember? The woman, she is big and fat. I'm using the word fat because this is what I describe her. She was very big and fat and white, and that made her so beautiful at that time. Arab at that time, they favor the women who have a lot of meat. The skinnier you are, nobody will marry you. Nobody even will look at you. That means you are sick. This is how they see it. The more you have meat, the more you are yummy and healthy. So she was big and huge and beautiful and so white. And she was almost equal to Aisha. So they sent Zainab to him, asking him, they said to him, Zainab, she said, your wife sent me to urge you to be equitable with regard to be in the matter of the daughter of Abu Quhafa. And then she swapped on me and she abused me. This is Aisha saying. She started calling her names. And then I start watching the Prophet to see if he would give me a permission to respond to her. Aisha, she is ready to jump on the women, to put her nails in her neck. She is waiting for a look from Muhammad to say, go for it. She insulted me, and I started to think that he would not disapprove if I respond to her. So I insulted her, and I soon silenced her. And then the Prophet said to her, she is the daughter of Abu Bakr, which means she is filthy, the same as her father. And Muhammad is sitting and he don't care. He is not being generous. He is not being justice. He is not being a good man. Wives are fighting over money. He don't want any of the bribes to go to the house of other women except Aisha, because Aisha is his favorite dish, remember. Now, if you are a Muslim man, let us see how many things will bring you stress. Endless. If you are a Muslim man, you have to watch. There's many bad things will happen to you. As an example, when a Muslim man, he have sex, and he don't say a prayer, certain prayer, Shaitan will round himself around the penis of the man, and he will be the one doing boom boom to his wife. Now the man, he is supposedly going to enjoy his time in bed. And now he is worried. Shaitan might take a chance, an advantage, and round himself around the penis of a Muslim man. And he will be the father of his child. Imagine what kind of a stress that will be. So even when you want to have sex, you have a stress. A Muslim man want to enter the bathroom. We are talking about normal life evidence. Eating, drinking, sex, you know. A Muslim man, he want to enter the bathroom. You enter the bathroom, if you don't say the prayer, Shaitan will play with your anus. Let me see if I can find some videos.
What is the ruling on saying the dua, Bismillah, a'udhu billahi min al-khubthi wal khaba'ith? Should I say it while entering or before entering? You should not say it inside. So as you're entering, if you're not inside, then you can say it. If you say it outside, this is best, and it's best to be safe rather than sorry. Fras.
Okay, hold on. This one did not tell us much. So guys, now there is even a rule to say a prayer before you do piss and before you shit. Why? Because Shaitan will play with your anus. We did not hear much from this guy. Let's hear from somebody else. Let us see. I'm trying to remember. There's tons of videos. I'm trying to remember the right one to show you. Let us see. All of those is nothing but a stress. Anything you want to do. Is a stress. Let us see. I mean, look, I'm looking at the. I mean, look at this. A prayer for entering, leaving the bathroom. There is a prayer to enter the bathroom, and there is a prayer to leave the bathroom. Do you see how much stress this religion will bring to you? Because now you are paranoid about anything you do in life. If you enter the bathroom before you do a prayer, shaitan will play with your anus. If you leave the bathroom without saying a prayer too, shaitan will do the same to you. So now what we will do? Well, there's a prayer before you enter the bathroom, and there's a prayer before you leave the bathroom. There's a prayer before intercourse. There's a prayer after intercourse. There's a prayer before you eat. There's a prayer after you eat. There's a prayer before the prayer, and there's a prayer after the prayer. And all of this is to stop shaitan. So now your life become full of phobia and stress. When to say the dua before I enter the bathroom? Look how important the question. Don't do those three things in the bathroom. What a topic. How our prophet used to go to sleep. More stress. You have to do it the same as Muhammad do. How Muhammad used to do, he used to put a dish under his bed and he piss in it, and imagine the smell in the room. Try to piss in a dish and put it underneath of you under your bed, and let us see how your room will smell. Try it. Can I say Bismillah and making wudu in the bathroom? Look at this question. Let us show you more reasoning of stress. This religion is a religion of stress, because Muhammad, he made their life horrible. He don't want them to think about his stupidity. He want them to be tied up with rules, funny, stupid rules. Everyone, people around the world, they enjoy having pets at home, like a dog or a cat or etc. Can a Muslim have a dog? Because, you know, if a person, he is alone, getting old, it's good to have somebody with you, even as a guard, you know, like a guard for the house. Nothing wrong with having a dog, not in Islam. Islam will bring more stress to your life. If you have a dog at your home, Allah, he hate you. So every human being, he can have a good friend. That is a dog. Dogs are loyal. They're even willing to give their life for you.